All right. Today's another day. I've been working on two portraits, and they are both drying. So we're going to work on this instead. We don't want to let the day go by without painting. So, not that I don't, because sometimes I do, but I try not to. Having been a writer for a long time, I have found that if you wait for inspiration to come knocking, she seldom will. So you do better to go looking for her and drag her out kicking and screaming. So that's what we're going to do today. A few days ago, I had this painting in my mind. Since then, it's evolved a little bit. Now, this is on a very heavily toothed canvas. I saved this canvas for a landscape, so it's going to be interesting to see how it comes out. Now, if you watched part one of this, you saw that we struggled with it a little bit in the beginning, because it's got so much tooth. And doing this underpainting on that heavy tooth, it's kind of interesting, versus doing like a wet on wet. Now we're just going to make sure we get this thing oiled down pretty good. And this is really just to assist in getting the blending nice and smooth. And we're just making sure we get this in all the fibers on a nice even coat. And then we're going to wipe some of this back. So now, normally we just wipe this back with a paper towel. Now, it makes me wonder if, when I do that this time, that is really going to work for me, because what's going to keep me from wiping just off the top threads and some of the deeper threads, maybe they might not get caught, might not get wiped off, but not too worried about that. All right, let's just wipe this a little bit. Clean the excess off. You can't ever wipe all of that off. I'm thinking we need a little bit more. So, what am I doing? That's the wrong stuff. Let's try it again. This area right here looked like might just be the light reflecting on it, but yeah, I think it is. But just to be sure, let's just give a little bit of extra dose. Now, I don't know for sure, but I'll probably be painting a lot of this with a filbert. If you watch much of my channel, you'll know that I do a lot of filbert work. So I like filberts. So let's get busy. All right, I don't think I need any more of this medium. Let's set that aside, and I'm just going to wipe the medium off of my palette. I have a glass palette up today. It's got my portrait colors on it, but I don't think it's got some other colors on it too, but that I'm using to make my flesh tones and stuff. So we'll just try to use some of that stuff up while we're at it, but we'll add whatever we need, whatever color we need. We're going to start off, I think, let's start off with some of this bismuth yellow. This is a Grumbacher color, and it may come in other brands. I've just never seen it in other brands, and I think I'm going to need that, and then I'll probably add some cat orange to that. We'll see. We'll see. All right, got a filbert and some bismuth yellow. You hear that kind of popping noise in the background. It's my studio fridge. I don't know why it's doing that, but it's making this weird noise lately. I'm not too worried about getting this on the barn because, you know, it's kind of, I can wipe it back off if I need to with a Q-tip. All right. I think rather than orange, I'm going to use some alizarin crimson mixed with this yellow. I have that on the palette already, so I'll just, not mixed, I mixed it on the brush, but let's bring it up a little bit above that. So I'm taking it up above the yellow. And then we'll just kind of blend that in a little bit. All right. And I think I'll still not clean the brush. I'm just going to pick up some ultramarine blue. That's awful dark. I don't know about that. It might work out though. And paint over that tree there and come back and do something with that in a little while. I'm not too worried about that. So already I'm kind of puddle painting. I have a little pile of paint over here. Okay, so this has got a little bit of the, even though it's ultramarine blue, it's got a little bit of these other two colors, the yellow and the, I don't want to get too much I don't want to get too much red into it. I say as I just went ahead and that's okay. Not too worried about it. Okay. That looks pretty good. Let's just clean the brush now. Maybe use up this roll of paper towels today. I've kind of beat that poor roll of paper towels up, rolling it around on the floor and everything else. All right, so let's start off just with this yellow and this red. As you can see, I don't have a lot of paint in the brush. So now I'm just going to kind of blend these two colors till you can't really tell where one starts and the other one ends. Alright. I'm kind of happy with that. We're going to go ahead and move it on up into the blue. And lap your colors. I got a little bit of space between them there, so I'm going to kind of just close that up. And widen out this corner a little bit, maybe on this corner too. Like that. clean this brush. I'm going to put some clouds in the sky, but I'm not going to, I don't want too much clouds in the sky, so I think I'm just going to use a filbert. So titanium white, we're going to let that kind of mix with these other colors. Of course, when we start to put other things in here that will start to kind of like that. That's kind of nice. All right. Just some doers, not any big puffy floaters at this time anyway. I don't think there's going to be any of those. I think these clouds here, let's mix up a little bit of color here. Back to the puddle. I want these clouds. Some of these clouds will be like that. That's good. All right. Pretty happy with that. Let's start thinking about these trees now. We got a bunch of trees. Let's start off with some sap green and probably a little bit of white, maybe some, I think it was sap green and maybe some yellow. Let's try that. I don't really like to add a lot of white or black, either one, to a painting because it just kind of desaturates the colors. So let's get some green here. Let's start off with some green. Let's kind of tap these trees in. I don't want to cover up all that lovely dark, so I'm just going to kind of pat some of this in. I'm just using the edge of this brush, kind of tapping it in there. Now on this ladder, you're going to be able to see through that, so we're just kind of, bringing the grass across that way. Excuse me. A little bit of allergies going on here. I'm going to mix up some green and some of this blue, ultramarine blue. All right, just to kind of add some darker shadows right up in here. Because, the sun's coming up back there, right? So let's put some shadows in here. Okay. Okay, so let's clean this brush. Kind of trying to be send a little bit of a mixed message here, I guess, in this paint, in this. Don't worry about bringing that tree back in a minute. Probably longer than a minute, but but you get my drift. And I kind of want to mix these colors up as I'm moving across the landscape here, just to give us some extra tones. Sometimes we'll throw in a little bit of this yellow ochre. A little more green. Can add a little bit of burnt umber to that. Ugh, that's a little bit too much burnt umber. There we go. I kind of take that candy color away a little bit. Don't want all that candy color. Now I'm just not even trying not to paint over the tree. I'm just painting it right on there. All right, let's put some over here now. You can see I'm not reloading my brush. I'm just still kind of putting in the color. All right, now I will. Now I'll reload. So a little bit of burnt umber, a little bit of sap green. I'll add some more highlights to that in a minute. All right. All right. I think before I move up, I'm gonna move this up farther. I'm gonna clean the brush, just to take some of that burnt umber out. And I'm gonna come back with this bismuth yellow again, and we're gonna highlight this a little bit. I'm just kind of using that stroke to blend it. Okay. Now highlight it a little bit more. Let's see if we can. Let's see if we can. Not too much. Don't want to get too carried away with the highlight, but we do want to add a little bit of sparkly. I'm just kind of looking at the paint on the edge of the brush. right, let's go back up here to the top of these trees. Tell you what, let's mix some yellow. Make it nice and bright yellow. Let's try this. It's not sticking, so we're going to add a little bit of medium to that. Just a touch. Okay, it's sticking, but now it's not light enough. This titanium white that I'm adding to this is a Grumbacher pretest, and it's really, really thick. It's nice for mountains and stuff, but a little hard for paint on top of other things. Okay, here we go. That's enough of that. All right, let's just kind of first. I don't want to just throw this off the brush, so we'll just kind of stick some of it in here and use it up. All right, now let's clean it out of the brush. We'll come back and update that in a minute. Let's work on the barn some. We'll probably kind of jump back and forth as we go. So I kind of fit the barn into the landscape. Alright. And I think since I got so many flat edges, I'm going to use a flat instead of a filbert. So, let's start with, I want this barn to be red. So we're going to start with alizarin crimson. And just kind of start. Mostly we're just getting the color in, just blocking it in. I can see right-handed. My strokes are not very straight. That's okay. We can fix that. Don't worry, right hand. We'll get back to you. All right, now again, a little bit below the line of the barn because it runs right along the line of this fence. I got a little confused there. See, it runs right on the fence at that point, and it starts to drop down under there, and then it comes back up again. All right, a little more. Again, we're just blocking in the color. It's dark. We'll come back with some more highlights and darks and stuff in a minute. I think this will probably be the mid-tone. It could be I don't know. I don't think it's dark enough to be the dark. It could be, I guess. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Now, I'm trying to get a nice, even in this, all of this tooth, I'm trying to get a nice, even color coming across. Although I don't want it to be too... I'm going to jumble that all up in a little bit, but so it's not all that important, but it's kind of important. Okay, that looks pretty good. Let's carry on with some on this side. I hate these angled strokes, but I always seem to manage to work them into my sketches. This door will not be red. And all of this in here is going to be different. So let's carry on. I left my allergies are just kicking my butt, and I left my drink over there. Gosh darn it! So when I get this part of the barn done, I'll just take a moment and step over there and get it. Hopefully, you guys will bear with me. I like the way this underpainting has caused this shadowing effect. It's pretty. Right, let's put some edge on this right here. Then we're going to take a little bit of this alizarin crimson, a little bit of dark, let's add a little bit of burnt umber or something here. Okay. All right, let's clean the brush while we think this over. This, by the way, in case anybody's interested, is a Winsor Newton flat. I'm pretty satisfied with it so far. I like the performance of it. I bought it. I don't think they have those anymore at Michael's. They closed them out, and I bought them they were all on sale. I actually bought them when they were on clearance, not when they were on sale, which was right before the coronavirus started. All right, I'm going to clean a little bit of this up. Get my shape back in here. All right. All right, let's start applying some shadow, I think. And I think rather than do that with black, I will do it with some blue, ultramarine blue, and a little bit of burnt umber. Let's see how this does. Yeah, I kind of like that. It's kind of nice. You don't have to worry too much on these old barns about getting all the lines right, you know, because the barns are just not lucky if they're not falling over. Use the same color. We're just carrying it on out a little bit farther to darken up this barn. Put these shadows in here. I'll come back and put the windows and stuff in later. Sticking to this color scheme. Okay. That looks pretty good. Alright, now I'm going to blend all that. Although I kind of like the streakiness of it. I want to clean up there's a road in there and all that kind of good stuff. So let's just kind of, I'll just use a Q-tip. I could use this flat. I think I'll just use a Q-tip. I'll use something just to get the road straight again. Glad I didn't paint the road first. God. I thought about it. I thought, no, stick the back to front. Alright. Fan brush. Oh yeah, I kind of like that. Alright. On this side of the barn, I want a little extra oomph. So I got some, do I have any bright red over here? I think this is bright red. Looks kind of orange, but I think it's bright red. I have to paint over that. You know what? I'm just going to paint it and then we'll unpaint it. Not unpaint it, but we'll paint over it. Alright, that looks pretty good. Okay. I'm going to need the roof. This roof has got an overhang, so let's pick up any excess paint off of this thing right here. Then we'll start putting the next line of roof line in there. All right. Yeah, that kind of messed that up. So let's go back and do it again. Yeah, still. That's what I get for not just painting over that to start with. It could have been just as easy. And just repaint the windows. All right. Let's start working on this darker color now. Burnt umber. Blue. We'll start laying in some shadows. I don't know if I can do it with this brush though. I think, hey, what? Let's clean this brush out. Let's go to a different brush. My favorite liner brush, besides the script liner, which is, you know, everybody's favorite liner brush probably. I don't know, but I like to use these angle brushes. I know that some artists like to use daggers, and I like daggers. I don't think it would work well on this heavy tooth though. Let's keep that going. That looks pretty good. this way we go, and up this way.
I picked these because I'm going to bake something with them. And I need 2 cups.
Oh, bring them over here. Look, we're growing cucumbers this year. My wife has just brought in our latest harvest. She loves cucumbers, so I wanted to grow her some. This is probably the biggest one we've ever had. This big light green one. She's getting ready to bake something. Is that what you said? So I was going to leave them for a couple days, but she's ready for them now.
I got one that's going to spoil on the counter.
Oh, okay. Alrighty. It's been a really fun thing to do this year. Those cucumbers are really making a show for us. So that's been good. All right, let's get this bottom. Like I say, this bottom is a little tricky because it even was when I was drawing it, because it runs under the fence line and it runs with the fence line because of the curve, and then it stays under the fence line again. See, even there I messed it up. I painted part of the fence. That's okay. I'm going to put some other things in there so it doesn't really matter all that much. Looks pretty good. I don't want to get too far along this line and have to come back. Come on, titanium white. Cooperate. Okay. Let's get that floor divider in there. Looks pretty good. All right. I like this gray. I guess this looks okay. It's kind of a light gray. I think Wendy loves going out there and picking those cucumbers. Even though I like to do it too, but she first brought it up, and I was like, oh, yeah, I grow a lot of garden stuff, but flower garden. So this is our first year to grow vegetables, but I think she's kind of digging it. I think she's liking it a lot. So this is working out pretty good, I think. I have to make some more of this up here in a minute, though. There's my refrigerator again, complaining about whatever that. We cannot figure out what's causing that weird sound. I thought it was like maybe some ice or something, but it doesn't seem to be. All right, I'm gonna have to turn this so I can get this last little bit. Then we're going to come back and put that boundary line. All right, now I'm going to put some other lines on that in a second. I can see where people would like a dagger brush right in here. Nope, can't do it that way. So my bestest buddy, the little painter girl, is working on a new commission today. So otherwise we'd probably be kind of painting along together. She's preparing a new piece of art that's going to go to Italy. I was like, wow, that's awesome. All right, we're just kind of stretching out the roof line. Okay. I'm okay with that. Let's get, now what I'm not okay with yet is, I haven't decided where. Kind of ran out of that dark. I still ran out of dark. Is this darker? No. All right, let's go. Let's go. Oh, let's not do that. Let's try this. I keep running out of paint. It's funny. It's not real funny, but it's funny. All right. Okay. All right, let's finish up some of these, the rest of these dark lines. I think over here. Okay, now, there's no, yeah. There's no straight horizontal pole for me to make that angle roof. So that's going to be a challenge here in a second. All right, that's looking pretty okay. All right, let's just try to go upside down with it maybe. Okay, it's on the far side of the thing, but I can still make it work. All right, I want, excuse me if my head's in the way. Ran out of paint. These long horizontal poles, you just can't really load your brush up to cover the whole length. All right, there we go. Don't need necessarily a lot of black here, but we do need some shadows in here. All right, I probably should let some of that dry and then start working on it, but I don't think I will. Don't think I will. Let's go. Let's clean the brush. Let's go with this red and start working down this silo. Then we're going to have to blend that in a minute, and we will. But let's just we're using alizarin crimson for that border. Okay. And let's start from this side. You can hear it scrubbing into that that tooth that I was telling you about earlier. I'll move this over a little bit so you guys can see better. Although it's really kind of harder for me to do it that way. That's okay. People pay for hard. Oh wait, you're not paying me. That's okay. I'll do it anyway. Okay, now let's come back with, I just want to add a little bit of red, a little bit more red. Yep, that was right. That's bright red. All right. I thought maybe I had cat orange in it. I just thought it was bright red, but no. We'll just kind of blend this. And I'm going to clean the brush. We're going to paint that top, same color as the roof. With a couple exceptions. Actually, I think what I'll do, I'll paint this roof like that, and then I'll just add some color to it. Add some more color to it. Let me see how that looks. So actually, that looks kind of okay. So we'll just add a little bit of shading to that. There we go. Just kind of blending this line right here. Just a little spot that I saw. I already have the color on the brush, so Okay. Okay, now I'm not going to wait for this to dry, but I think I am going to wait for it to set up a little bit because I got these windows left to do on the barn. I'd like them to be a little straighter than I usually make them, but I don't know if that's going to happen, but we'll just kind of get the extra paint off of them here. You can see these Q-tips, how they unravel. I hate these things. They're not regular Q-tips. They're just like generic brand. Don't make that mistake, folks. Just Q-tips aren't that expensive. But now that I bought them, I'm going to use them until I use them up. All right, now since I'm going to let this set up just a little bit anyway, I'll probably just go ahead and put some glass in these windows. So I'll do this. I could do it with a flat, but I'm not going to. Let's take some of this blue. I'll tell you what, let's don't do that. Let's take, I got some cool highlight that I built for my portraits. Let's try this. Let's just try this on the windows and see how. That'd probably be okay. And we'll square these away when we put the frames in. too concerned about that. Why did I add this little window right at the last just to make it hard? All right. I need a little more blue on this window. There we go. All right. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to pause for about half an hour. Of course, for you on the video, I'll be right back. But I'm going to pause about a half an hour. Let this set up a little bit. And then we'll come back and do a little bit more. See how it's going. See you then.